Good afternoon, my loves. I'm going to continue reading Love That Dog to you. I'm wearing my Be Yourself shirt today, and I'm pretending that it is chilly, so I'm reading by the fire. March 14th, Pi Day. That was the best poem you read yesterday by Mr. Walter Dean Myers. The best poem ever. I am sorry, I took the book home without asking. I only got one spot on it. That's why the page is torn. I tried to get the spot out. I copied the best poem and hung it on my bedroom wall right over my bed where I can see it when I'm lying down. Maybe you could copy it too and hang it on the wall in our class where we can see it when we are sitting at our desks doing our stuff. I sure like that poem by Mr. Walter Dean Myers called Love That Boy because of two reasons. I liked it. One is because my dad calls me in the morning just like that. He calls, "Hey there, son." And also because when I had my yellow dog, I loved that dog, and I would call him like this. I'd say, "Hey there, Sky." His name was Sky. March 22nd. My yellow dog followed me everywhere, every which way I turned. He was there, wagging his tail and slobber coming out of his mouth when he was smiling at me all the time as if he was saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing me," and jumping up on me, his shaggy, straggly paws on my chest, like he was trying to hug the insides right out of me. Can you visualize him doing that? And when us kids were playing outside, kicking the ball, he'd chase after it and push it with his nose, push, 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 and getting slobber all over the ball. But no one cared because he was such a funny dog. That dog, Sky. That straggly, furry, smiling dog, Sky. And I call him every morning, every evening. "Hey there, Sky." March 27th. Yes, you can type up what I wrote about my dog Sky, but don't type up that other secret one I wrote, the one all folded up in the envelope with tape on it. That one uses too many of Mr. Walter Dean Myers' words, and maybe Mr. Walter Dean Myers would get mad about that. April 4th. I was very glad to hear that Mr. Walter Dean Myers is not the sort of person who would get mad at a boy for using some of his words. And thank you for typing up my secret poem, the one that uses so many of Mr. Walter Dean Myers' words. And I like what you put at the top. Inspired by Mr. Walter Dean Myers. That sounds good to my ears. Now no one will think I just copied because I couldn't think of my own words. They will know I was inspired by Mr. Walter Dean Myers. But don't put it on the board yet, okay? Is Mr. Walter Dean Myers a live person? And if he is, do you think he could ever come to our city, to our school, to our class? And if he did, we should hide my poem with his words. Hide it real good, just in case he would get mad about that. Do you think Walter Dean Myers is real? April 9th. No. I can't do it. You should do it. You're a teacher. What do you think the teacher wants him to do? What did the teacher write in his notebook to him? April 12th. I don't agree that Mr. Walter Dean Myers might like to hear from a boy who likes his poems. I think Mr. Walter Dean Myers would like to hear from a teacher who uses big words and knows how to spell and to type. So we have our answer there. Walter Dean Myers is living. He is a poet. And I would love for you to look up one of his poems. You can do any Google search for Walter Dean Myers, and then maybe send me a poem that you like that belongs to Walter Dean Myers. April 17th. Dear Mr. Walter Dean Myers, you probably don't want to hear from me because I am only a boy and not a teacher, and I don't use big words. And you probably won't read this, or even if you do read it, you probably are way too busy to answer it, let alone do the thing I'm going to ask you. And I want you to know that's okay. Because our teacher says writers are very, 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 very busy trying to write their words. And the phone is ringing, and the fax is going, and the bills need paying, and sometimes they get sick. I hope you are not sick, Mr. Walter Dean Myers. Or their families get sick, or their electricity goes off, or the car needs fixing, or they have to go to the grocery store, or do the laundry, or clean up messes. I don't know how you find the time to write your words if you have to do all that stuff, and maybe you should get a helper. So what I am asking you is this. If you ever get time to leave your house, and if you ever feel like visiting a school where there might be some kids who like your poems, would you ever maybe think about maybe coming maybe to our school, which is a clean place with mostly nice people in it. And I think our teacher, Miss Stretchberry, would maybe even make brownies for you because she sometimes makes them for us. I hope I haven't too much stopped you from doing your writing of words and fixing your car and getting groceries and all that stuff just to read this letter, which probably is taking you maybe 15 minutes. And in that time, you could have maybe written a whole new poem, or at least the start of one. And so I am sorry for taking up your time. And I understand if you can't come to our clean school and read some of your poems to us and let us see your face, which I bet is a friendly face. My name is Jack. Bye, Mr. Walter Dean Myers. April 20th. Did you mail it? Did he answer yet? April 24th. Months? It might take months for Mr. Walter Dean Myers to answer my letter. If he answers it, I didn't know until you explained that the letter has to go to Mr. Walter Dean Myers' publisher company, and then someone at the publisher company has to sort all the mail, not just my letter, but hundreds and hundreds of letters to hundreds of authors, all that big mess of mail piled up, and someone sorting all that mail, and then the letters for Mr. Walter Dean Myers go to him, and maybe he's away, maybe he's on vacation, maybe he's sick, maybe he's hiding in a room writing poems, maybe he's babysitting his children or his grandchildren, if he's married and stuff, or maybe he has to go to the dentist or get that car fixed, or maybe someone died. I really, really, really hope someone did not die. So, if you ask me, it could take him years to get around to answering that letter. So, I guess we better just forget about it, not count on it, get it out of our minds, do something else, forget it. April 26th. Sometimes, when you are trying not to think about something, it keeps popping back into your head. You can't help it. You think about it, and think about it, and think about it, until your brain feels like a squashed pea. Synonym. By the way, I noticed earlier that he wrote his poems 4 days apart. So again, we're observing how he is changing and how he is beginning to enjoy his poetry a lot more. May 2nd, and last poem of the day. Yes, you can type up the thing about trying not to think about something, but you'd better leave my name off it because it was just words coming out of my head, and I wasn't paying too much attention to which words came out when. Okay, so here's something I would like for you to do. I already mentioned going and Googling Mr. Walter Dean Myers, but you could also Google other poets as well. And then another thing you could do is look up Sharon Creech and see if there was a way that you could write a letter to her. She is my favorite author, as I've expressed before, and maybe she would be willing to do a Zoom meeting with us or something if we were to write to her. So just something to think about. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.